Hey guys, welcome to another drawing quick tip tutorial. This is a real simple exercise and just focusing on drawing our squares. So it's going to be a lot of straight lines and angles, but the point of this quick tutorial is to just focus on your shapes, your placement, proportions, and a little bit of an angle. So we have a little bit of a 3D angle going on here, so you can kind of barely see the side of this brush. And then you have these bristles, and there's 10 of them, and they're flared out kind of like in triangle shapes. So let's get started. First, we want to find our guidelines as always. So we kind of want to find the top area and the bottom area and sketch those in. And I want to find out how wide my brush is, so just by looking at it, I can kind of see. I'm going to start with one side here. You can put that anywhere, but the other side has to be about the same proportion as the brush. So let's say it's about here. It's a long rectangle shape. Okay, that looks about right. So we have our top guidelines and our side guidelines. We also want to find the center of this thing. So just by using your eyes, you're going to have to kind of like guess where the center is by looking. So I don't want to take the brush and kind of like trace it and cheat a little bit. We want to be able to draw by eyesight. Okay, so now we want to divide the wooden part of the brush from the bristles. So the bristles are longer, or the height is taller than the height of the wood. So knowing that we need to find our center as a reference point, find your middle, go a little bit above that, and that is going to be your next guideline to divide the brush. And this is your basic skeleton, I like to call them. Your beginning layout. You want to have your guides in place. Once you have your guides in place, drawing the whole thing is a lot easier. So now what we can do is I want to tackle the bristles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we want to sketch 5 here and 5 here. So let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to be a big gap here, so we need to start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's pretty close. So let's start creating our triangles. Now the edges of the brush don't really go up to the edge of the wood. It kind of stays inside. So we want to keep our bristles inside our box. Okay, just for the ends. Now you can start lightly sketching kind of like a triangle shape. And it's okay if the lines overlap down here. Okay, kind of see I have a little bit of a problem in here. There's too much of a gap, but we can fix that. I'm just going to kind of hurry up and get my triangles in here. Okay, what's throwing me off is the center guideline. Let's erase it a little bit. Okay, so we want these points to be spaced out evenly. So I'm just going to create little marks. So I want to gently erase some of these over here. These seem to be okay. Lightly sketch them back in place. Now in this stage of your drawing, see how I'm going really light? There's no need to go heavy in pressure at all. You always want to use very light strokes, because at this point we're sketching. We're sketching our drawing. Okay. Next thing we want to do now that we have these guys in place is we want to start creating our solid dark lines. So we want to create heavier lines to make our object stand out. Now remember, I wanted to do a little bit of a perspective on here. So we have a little bit of a perspective going on here. So that's easy to take care of, but we need to create the back side of this block. So just gently add another guideline back in here, right below the middle guideline. Now we have a reference line. Now I'll connect these guys over here this way. Now as we're doing this, we're trying to keep our perspective. Okay, so this perspective line is angled this way. This one is angled a little bit different. It's more this way, which is how we're viewing it. So this one has more of a steeper angle. This one is more closer to being more upright. Okay, and same thing with this angle back in here. So the reference point for the perspective lines, where these three lines meet, is going to be way down over here. But we just need these to go by, and we can tell how much of an angle by looking at these lines here. Okay, mine might be a little bit more exaggerated just to get the drawing to come out. So what I want to do now is find my side line, look at my perspective line, follow that, this one too, and keep these guys about the same length, and just make another vertical line down here. Okay. And this one I'm just going to darken this vertical line, darken this perspective line, and work on these. And gently erase your perspective lines. Don't need them. Also get rid of the side guidelines. Don't need them. And just draw this line down here. Okay, now we can start darkening the brush bristles. There's a few more back in here, so let's fill those in over here. I'm just going to add one more. Okay, so these guys don't really connect up in here, so they're actually set in below this block line of the wood. So we want to kind of begin drawing our bristles by making little marks right here where they start. Try to keep them spaced out. And now we can just create our main outer lines of these bristles. But drawing basic objects around your home is a good way to practice drawing. If you can find something interesting, any kind of object will work, and just try to draw it. Now there's a little bit of the bottom area of the bristles that you can kind of see here. It's in the shadow, but they're there. And the same thing I want to do as we did up here is kind of create a little mini perspective area. So the bristles kind of have like their own little perspective rectangle shape. So I'm just gently sketching some quick guidelines really fast, so I know where to draw my bristles. Notice how I made an angle down here, because we're still keeping the same perspective. Here, here, and here. Okay, but you can barely see the bottom of the brush, and I'm just going to sketch that in. Simple single hatching technique. All you got to do is go one direction real fast. You can sketch this any way you want. And here, I'm just going to softly try to make this straight. And now I can create smaller or lighter bristle lines for my brush, just to fill it in. Now, when I'm sketching here, I'm trying to follow the same angle as this line. When I get to the middle, I try to go straight. When I get to the other side, I try to angle it to the line on the other side of the bristle brush, or the bristles. So, okay, and if you want to, try to fill in the back perspective line here. Okay, I'm a little off, so that's okay. I'm just going to draw another one down here. And we're just going to shade this guy in too, so it doesn't matter. Don't shade the bristles, try to shade around the bristles. Now there's a few more back in here, so all we got to do is add a little line to show that there's more brushes back here. Makes it more fuller. Add a few more lines, shade that in. And add a little bit of a grain to the wood here. Maybe do a little knot. And I just draw a little oval shape and create lines around it. Doesn't have to be like exactly like what you're drawing. You can add to it as long as it looks like wood. Okay, and that's our basic sketch of drawing this bristle brush with the wooden block. And do a few little dark lines down in here to give it some character. So there you have it, simple, quick tip on drawing. Any object that you have in the house will work. And just keep practicing all the time, and I'll be creating more videos during this downtime that we all are going through, and hope you guys are all safe out there and keeping your minds busy, occupied by learning how to draw. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like the video, add any comments, and see you soon.